Time lapse, cityscape and traffic during the day.
Welcome back to this episode of the Moving Vlog series. We are prepping to move.
Coincidentally, we just got our lease. We figured this was a great time to talk about it. So, what do you think is most important about our process in thinking about how to best sign a lease? What have we enjoyed so far about this process?
Yeah, great question. I really enjoy that the whole leasing process is over DocuSign, which typically speaking is pretty accessible if you're using assistive technology. So thumbs up to the property management company for using that platform. The second part about it I love is that the text of the lease is uploaded to DocuSign rather than what a lot of people do is scan a printed copy of the lease or export it from, say, Word and then upload it as a photo, and then it's not accessible to text-to-speech software. So it's really easy. You go through, you adopt your signature, and then DocuSign has all the handy little tools that allow you to basically just apply my signature to this page, next, apply my signature to that page, next. So really glad that we have that option. It makes it a lot easier.
It does. And it lets you read the information independently. I think we both had experiences, you with your mom or your landlord having to read a 25-page document, right? It can seem really tedious. There's obviously a lot of legal jargon included in that document, but it's really important for us to know as tenants what our responsibilities are, how are charges calculated, what is the formula for how that's being charged, what utilities are we responsible for, how are they billed, where are they billed, is there an accessible payment portal, all things that we need to think about in advance, and certainly things that you can ask about even when you're looking for apartments. We're fortunately very familiar with this process, so we will be essentially repeating what we did the last time.
We're big believers in reading the entire lease. It's long, it's boring, it's dry, but it's really important to know what your responsibilities are, what the landlord's responsibilities are, how things are calculated. So we will be tucking into this lovely lease here.
Time lapse, clouds drifting across sky reflected in shiny city building.
So moving is all about dividing and conquering. So while Melissa is doing some downsizing tasks, trying to arrange pickups for things that we're giving away / selling, etc., I am tackling some of the deep cleaning tasks that typically get overlooked but cost you when you move out of an apartment. So specifically things that you're not taking with you. In this case, that is underneath of the appliances. So I will be tackling behind the refrigerator and underneath of the stove. I know, super exciting stuff. If you're uncomfortable with the physical strength needed to move these items to get to that, get someone to help you. I don't want to hear about anybody hurting a back or shoulders or any part of you whatsoever. So get someone to help you move that if you can. If you can't, you can't. But if you can, it definitely will help you get a little bit more of your deposit back, typically speaking. You want to be careful moving this stuff too, because there's electrical cords. Our refrigerator has a ice maker, so there's likely a water line back there. The newer models are meant to be moved for this sort of task, but you do want to be careful and aware of what you're doing. I like to start by making sure there's nothing above the refrigerator. Great place for things to hide. Might as well clean the top while I'm at it. Put my hands around it, giving it a big hug. And just slowly slide it out, because again, I don't want to damage any electrical or water lines. I'm just listening for anything. You might be asking, how do you do this if you can't see? I'm just listening, and if I feel anything pulling on the fridge, I'm going to stop. I'm going to start by vacuuming. I have one of these handy little Dyson stick vacs, wireless. They're really handy for this sort of job. They're smaller than a large vacuum, obviously. They're a little bit more nimble and really easy to use in tight spaces. So I'm going to start with that. cleaning them visually, there's whole tutorials on this stuff, but I just go in a grid pattern, up and down, back and forth. Take a look at our foreman here, Forley, supervising the proceedings, cleaning, laying on the couch. Good girl. While the floor dries, I'm going to tackle underneath of the stove. Sorry for the noise. I'm just gonna set the drawer off. Set the drawer off to the side. A little bit of spray under here. And the oven is a little more tricky because you have all these pieces of framework and the shelving assembly. But same idea, just a grid pattern. You find the weirdest things when you clean sometimes. Found this magnet. Coincidentally, it's from my parents' Hell's Canyon jet boat tour business, Beamer's Hell's Canyon Tours. Check them out. hellscanyontours.com or on Facebook. No, I swear this is not planted. This actually happened. Must have fallen off our fridge and got kicked under there or something. And right back where it belongs. We have a stainless steel fridge, so magnets only stick to this steel shell on the side. Now for the fun part, putting the drawer back in underneath of the oven. I swear these things are never straight, even from the factory. They're metal, they heat up, they cool down, they probably get bent out of shape slightly, literally. So just use caution when putting them back in. I've definitely pinched fingers and that sort of stuff putting these in, so wish me luck. Back of the drawer up, the little guides. Keep my fingers out of the way. It's a great way to hurt yourself if you're not careful. Little pro tip, if you're moving the refrigerator back, don't push it all the way up against the wall because the compressor and other cooling components need some air to breathe and to remain cool and effective. So always keep that in mind when you're putting it back. Floor is dry behind the fridge. Time to move it back. Ooh, squeezing here. Always makes me self-conscious. Suck it in. Now I'm just gonna slowly slide it in, taking care not to run over cord, water line. Well, that wasn't too bad. Got all the kitchen appliances cleaned. It's one less thing I have to worry about on moving day. Some other things to consider doing ahead of time, things like the windows, dusting, vacuuming behind furniture. I just find anything you can do ahead of time before moving day will make moving day go a little bit better. It's already a challenging day, and so it's just great to have some of this stuff done. Hey, honey, what are you up to?
I am collecting clothes to be donated. This
Nice.
is a very interesting project for me most times. I think it's good to purge, especially in this case, now that we're downsizing. It's an important exercise in honesty. What fits, what isn't appropriate to have around, like this. I don't personally wear velvet anymore, and Aaron's hair definitely sticks to it.
Oh, gosh.
So this is going right in here.
Nice.
So just thinking about what you need and don't need, and maybe some of your clothing items can find themselves into a better home, or someone who needs them more than you do. So between this box of clothing, some other boxes here with kitchen utensils, we're just thinking about items that we can get rid of and donate to a better place.
Yeah, it's really helpful to downsize.
Yeah.
For space reasons, but if you're not using it, let it go so someone else can.
Exactly.
Love it. Stay tuned, everybody, for the next installment in the moving vlog.
Woohoo!